Hi, and welcome to another one of my what ifs. This is actually, like I said in the last part, one of my most watched what ifs, other than the Iron Man one. I'm not really sure where I'm going to go back to that. I'm still thinking of new ideas, but it will be coming out probably this weekend. Something to actually remind you all is for the past two parts, I haven't said a single thing about quirks. Like, nobody's used their quirks, and it's kind of amazing. So I'm going to go back to the few parts where there was action and stuff, and kind of tell you if they were using their quirks or not, and for certain new characters, what their quirks were. When Izuku jumped down to the ground, he used his durability thing, because if you jumped from that height, you would definitely break your legs, even with a suit of armor. Then he used the shields to block incoming bullets, and then he used the speed one to run past them on. Then he used the strength one to punch to knock them out, and he used his gun to kill the other ones. Because the UNSC actually had some reasoning to take in some of them for questioning. Now, Felix has a invisibility quirk, you could say, or actually no, Felix has a speed quirk. Tank, he wasn't. I don't believe he was in the last part. I called him something else, but we're just gonna call him Tank. You could kind of think what his quirk is. It's increased durability and strength. And then you have Blackjack. That's also a new character that I didn't talk about in the last part. She has the ability to camouflage herself. Those are the three new ones. Or the three ones I added last part. And so those guys and girls are part of his team. Now let's get back to the story. While now Zuko's just relaxing, looking at the news, seeing if everything's anything's changed and stuff. And then hears some guards say, "Sir, there are some people here to see you." Now Zuko has never actually had anybody here to see him before, other than his father. So he said in just by texting them, "Who is it?" And they said, "Some soldiers. It seems like they're part of your group. Would you like to let them in, or should we tell them to leave?" He says, "Let them in. Why not?" And so he goes over and gets his helmet on, and this is the same helmet from the last part where it's kind of a more futuristic version of the original meta one. So they walk in and they say, "I can't wait to see his face." And then they look at him and they're like, "Oh." And he says in Morse code, actually no, he doesn't say in Morse code. Morse code, no, sign language. He actually puts up a holographic display saying, "What are you guys doing here? Did the boss give you authorization to be here? Or did you just lie to him?" And they say, "We lied." He says, "Okay, now, I'm not mad at you. Actually, I kind of am, but I'm not as mad as my father. As the boss will be once he finds out." And so they're like, "Please, Meta, please, just we need to know what you look like. I mean, that's the entirety of what we were here for." He says, "I don't show my face to anyone other than the boss. And you all know that." I'm searching up some stuff, and you heard the clickety-clackety-clack of my keyboard. I said, "No, young man, there's no need to." you guys know anyway. So anyway, they say, wait, so the boss, he knows what you look like, and Izuku says, yes, he does, because he's the one that actually brought me into this, program. And so they say, so if we were to find out what you look like, we'd go to him. And he says, yes, but you would get squat out of him. You'd get nothing. So they say, oh, we'll see about that. I found one that actually looks like the meta. Now, look at that. That looks good. That's his armor. Which one's that? This one's it. Soda, the sponsor of today's video, helps keep you energized. I'm having the same thing that happened during my last period of school. I'm having a creative writing block where you don't really have ideas, but you still know what you want to do and stuff. And so Izuku says, through his text thing, how about this? You guys go back, or actually contact somebody to go on a mission. You go to the mission, you come back, and it will make it look like you guys were never here. Okay? They say, yes, sir, and they both leave, and all of them leave. Felix says, Matter, sir, will you ever be able to teach me how to use my speed quirk correctly? Because you are a complete master at yours, or at your quirk that, you use your part of your quirk. So if you have any time, I would love to study under you. You are just my idol. I love you. So yeah, Izuku's got a fan. Izuku actually is known throughout the public as the defender of, you could practically say, the free world, because he actually goes around and he stops all the terrorists and stuff, and so he's actually gotten the name, and he's called the practically the Meta Angel, or the Angel from Hell, because he shows no mercy, but at the same time he helps everybody he can. So it's kind of interesting. Now in this next mission, this will actually be the reason of how Izuku goes to the UA high school. You see, Izuku, even though he has been working on his quirk, it's not the best that he can be, because it's not like he's at UA, so. For the next What If, I might do one where it's kind of sad. Anyway, he goes on this mission, and it takes him to Japan. Now, the reason he goes there is because somebody that's as powerful, or nearly as powerful as All Might, is attacking, and so they want the best division in the U.S., the UNC. And so Izuku and 5 other teams of... Izuku's team consists of 4 people, including himself. So it's Izuku and then 3 other people. And then the other teams, because they aren't them, consist of about 10 to 20. That's just how good Izuku is. He just needs a team of 3. That's how good his entire team is, really. So Izuku's in control of all the fire teams right now, because he's the smartest and the most tactical one. Now, all of them look up to him as their mentor because of how amazing he is. And so he kind of puts up a diagram, and everybody's kind of understanding. They want them to surround the area and slowly close in onto the target. And if one person is able to get into a fight with them, just go on the defense so that you have more time to call for backup and allow backup to get there. And if the villain's straight in the center and we all see him, then we use anything necessary and any thing that we have on ourselves to subdue him, or at the very least try and kill him, because of how devastating the destruction is so far. Now, the villain, or so far, the villain is kind of being condensed into an area, so that it leaves the UNSC's top 3 teams. Um, it allows them to have some more time to do stuff because one of the things that they need to do is already done for them. So they all move in, and Izuku is kind of spearheading it, and he just runs in, condenses. Well, after he finds it, he notifies all the other groups. He uses his force field to kind of condense condense the villain into it. The way he does this is he turns his shield inside out so that whenever the villain tries to punch through it, it's kind of sending it right back at them, or right back at him. Actually, no, other way around, because yeah, and so the force is just somehow shooting around the entire thing and hits him right across the jaw. He's like, that's how strong I am. And the good thing is Izuku's force field quirk is actually a bubble, so it goes underground as well, but it just doesn't leave an imprint. So the villain just is like, how about I start digging down? So he tries to, and he hits the shield, and it uppercuts him, because, same force. And so he's like, huh, this is interesting. And Izuku's walking out with all the other fire teams, and they all have their guns up, and some of them have electricity coming out of their hands, and other ones have a type of glowing things coming off their hands, like they're about to blast him with an ion cannon that comes right from their arms. Other ones are just holding guns. Some are kind of getting ready to punch him and stuff like that, so that they're able to try and subdue him or kill him. And All Might comes down and says, "Great work, fire team Alpha, Beta, and Sigma, as well as Alpha, Bravo, Delta, you could say, because there wasn't really, I don't know. Well done, group. Well done, fire teams. Spawn. Nah, I don't really know. A, B, and C. How about that? Nice job, fire team A, B, and C. Why not? Just fill in whatever name you want for them. Whatever. And so he walks up to Izuku and he says, "I'll take it from here. Whenever you guys are ready, try and subdue him long enough for me to get in there and punch him right across the face." And Izuku nods, and he looks at all of them and says, he just nods. And so they're like, "Understood, sir." He puts down the force field, and they all open fire on that guy. Some are making indents, some aren't doing anything, some are actually, hurting him. And so that gives All Might enough time to run in, punch him, and run out, because that's just how fast he is. And in that time, he was able to punch him at least 5 times, knocking him out. And then he was able to run back out there. He tapped Izuku on the shoulder and says, "Okay, tell your people to stand down. It's done." And so Izuku holds his hand up in like a stopping motion, and they all stop. And he does that thing where he puts his finger up and kind of spins it around, or like spins his entire arm around, meaning like time to leave and stuff. It's almost like, you got a pretty good quirk there, kid. Why don't you come and learn at UA? You might be able to actually expand your power. And so Izuku looks back and he kind of puts up a holographic thing again and says, "I'll think about it." So he walks back on, and then they get to the base, and he tells his father about it, and his father's like, "It's not a bad idea. The rest of your fire team might have to go, though." And Izuku's like, "Why not? They're some of the best people, and why not let UA see if they can become better?" His father says, "Good idea." It's 15 minutes. I'm going to try and make this the shortest one yet. So, quick recap. Other fire teams try and look at Izuku's face. Izuku puts on a mask. He lets him in. He says that you guys should go actually do a mission. Go back to the boss. That's his father. Tell him that they actually want to go and did a mission, so that it looks like they actually did and didn't go and snoop into Zuko's house. Next thing they do, they go on a mission to subdue a pretty dang powerful villain with the help of All Might. And they do that, and All Might is like, hey, how about you come to UA so that your quirk can be used, or so that your quirk can actually become stronger. He tells his dad says sure, and his dad also says you might want to take the rest of your fire team because that will be unfair if only you go. So he says, why not? They have pretty powerful quirks themselves, and it'd be cool to see if they could get powerful as well. Holy crap. I don't know if you guys actually understood anything, but you get the idea. Next part will be them actually in UA, and next what if I might do is what if Izuku is a Nomu, or what if I could do a remake of what if he's Iron Man. So yeah, bye.